Do you want 100 tickets per day? What about 200? Well, you've come to the right place, because in this video, I will be showing you guys how to average 300 tickets a day in Bee Swarm Simulator using the latest and greatest method. Starting off with the easiest. Now, this is going to give you your first about 10 tickets a day. Now, for starters, we have King Beetle, which is guaranteed to drop you 5 tickets every single time you defeat King Beetle. And there we go. There is my 5 tickets right there from King Beetle. That's a nice 5 tickets per day. But if we actually want to head up to TunnelBear, TunnelBear actually drops 10 tickets guaranteed every time you defeat TunnelBear. But TunnelBear only spawns every 2 days, meaning that you average about 5 tickets a day from TunnelBear. And when including the tickets from King Beetle, that averages to 10 tickets a day already. And we're only 30 seconds into the video. See, there we go. There's my 10 tickets from TunnelBear. Nice and easy. You definitely want to make sure that you're logging in as often as possible to get those tickets, because every single method in this video is absolutely crucial if you want to average 300 a day. Now, next up is your Windy Bee. I really recommend that you do a daily Windy Bee. You can get a Windy Bee by donating a star jelly, 3 glues, 3 jelly beans, or whatever you really prefer. But Windy Bee actually does drop a lot of tickets. Now, how many exactly? Well, it just depends how good you are at the game, how high of a level you can get your Windy Bee to be. But to be honest, you can probably get around 15 to 20 tickets every single time you do Windy Bee, bringing our daily total up to 25 tickets a day. Now, next up comes sprouts. Basically, you can get tickets from any kind of sprout, but the better the sprout, the more tickets you're going to get. So actually make sure you're not using your magic beans. Make sure that you're actually using the special sprout spawner, because that's a lot cheaper, and you definitely don't want to trade in your magic beans for tickets. And while we're on the topic of sprouts, you can also get them from honey storms. You can average 2 to 3 every single honey storm if you get lucky. And look at that, Windy Bee's still giving me a ton of tickets. And from sprouts, you can average about 2 a day if you're using this special sprout spawner and maybe a magic bean of your own, bringing your total tickets up to 29 tickets a day. Now, next up is codes. I'm not going to add these to the daily counter because you can't redeem codes every single day, but if you use all of the codes on screen, you will be rewarded tickets for every single code that you use. Just make sure that you're not using all of these codes just for the tickets, because some of these codes do give really good buffs that you're going to want to save for later. Now, next up is badges. Now, this can give you a literal heck ton of tickets. As you can see right now, if I actually complete my Grand Master badges, I'll be getting 40 tickets every single time. Now, there's no real way you can farm your badges, but these will basically just be going on in the background as you're farming for your other tickets. So just make sure that you're always checking your badges, because you'd be surprised how many tickets these things can give you. And now this is where things start to get crazy, because you guys look at our counter right here, it's only at 29, and I promised 300. Well, this next method is going to give us a huge boost, and that's the wealth clock, because you can use the wealth clock once every hour, and it'll give you up to 5 tickets an hour if you use it enough. And if you have ×5 wealth clock and you use it every single hour for an entire day, you will get a literal 95 tickets every single day just from the wealth clock, bringing up our total a ton. And if you're wondering how you're actually supposed to use the wealth clock that many times in a day, I recommend you use macro. But we're still 200 tickets away from our goal, which leads us to our next method, the King Beetle. Now, the King Beetle you can only defeat once every 5 days, but if you defeat it once every 5 days, it's guaranteed to give you 50 tickets every single time. And for this 5-day cooldown, I'm pretty sure you need a gifted Vicious Bee, but 50 tickets divided by 5 days equals an extra 10 tickets a day, bringing up our total by 10 tickets. Now, after that is another method that I'm not going to add to the counter, but it's still a really efficient method that I recommend using, and that is the ticket shop. Now, you can literally buy so many tickets using this. The only problem is the price does increase, so that way you can't just buy infinite tickets in an entire day. But if you have the spare honey, make sure you buy yourself a spare 500 tickets from this thing. Now, we still have a few methods to go, but this next method is probably the most important method of all time, because I don't think you guys realize just how overpowered the ticket planter is. The ticket planter grows every 2 hours and is guaranteed to give you at least 10 tickets. If it doesn't give you 10 tickets, it can actually give you up to 20. Now, it grows in 2 hours, but if you use a glitter, it grows in an hour and a half. Meaning if you use a ticket planner every single hour and a half for a day, you will literally get an extra 160 tickets per day just from the ticket planner. And that's only if you get a bare minimum of 10 tickets per planter. You're most likely going to get a lot more than just 10 tickets, which brings up our total a heck ton. Not to mention, at the same time, you can also grow other planters to get even more tickets. And if you have those growing at the same time as the ticket planter, you'll most likely be getting an extra 5 tickets a day from your other planters. And next of all is another very, very, very overpowered method, and that is your Werewolf and Spider. Now, you might not think it's that big of a deal, but with enough loot luck, you can get 1 ticket guaranteed every single time you defeat the werewolf, and the same thing goes for the spider. The werewolf spawns once every hour, and the spider spawns once every 20 minutes, but even if you don't have the best luck, you can still average 30 tickets a day from these 2 mobs. That's not including defeating any other mobs, by the way. Now, obviously, a lot of these things that I've been stating are really hard to do, like defeating your werewolf 24 times in a day, or harvesting 16 ticket planters in a day, which is why if you want to do this all and get the literal most tickets in a day, then I recommend you use Nitro Macro. If you don't know how to use it, there is a link to the video in the description. If you'd like me to make a video on something, comment it down in the description. And hey, since I just showed you how to get 300 tickets in a day, all I ask is that you subscribe and have a good day.